Coach Rage, what can you tell? What can you tell us about Quincy Holland?
What can I tell you? He's got the best eyes in the sport right now, both amateur and professional.
Wow.
He is going to make a big splash, but this kid can see things coming at him, and it's the sort of thing you just can't teach.
Right.
And he's fast, and he's powerful.
Yeah.
And he's my fighter. So he's mean.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Appreciate it, Coach Rage. Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, FightersRep veteran Quincy Holland. What's going on, dude?
How you doing, brother? Everything's great. Everything's good.
Good, man. It's awesome seeing you here at Black House.
Yes, sir.
A lot of serious guys in here, and you're a serious guy, Quincy.
100%.
We've seen you in the Lions Den before. I thought you put up a hell of a fight. The decision didn't go your way, but that was a hell of a fight. Was it a split decision?
Split decision. Yeah, it's all good. So it goes happens like that.
Yeah. But hell of a fight, Quincy. Kind of tell me who Quincy Holland is in a nutshell for the people of Knucklehead Nation.
In a nutshell, Quincy Holland is a very serious competitor. He's very passionate, family-oriented, competition-driven individual. That's me.
Very cool, very cool. Quincy, not the easiest way to make a living. What kind of got you started into fighting?
Well, I've been a fighter like my whole life. But what got me into martial arts was the competition aspect. Obviously, I've been an athlete my whole life growing up. So what got me into fighting specifically was just being around it a lot.
Yeah.
I was training in gyms where there was fighters training, and I just started falling in love with it because I'm a fighter at heart. You know, so that's pretty much what got me into it, being around the competition a lot. And I knew I had to compete because a lot of the guys that were doing well in that area were, I felt like I could get them even without training. So I decided to start taking my training very seriously.
And what other sports did you play? Because I got to say, one thing that I noticed right off the bat watching you fight, because, you know, I study you guys. Besides the fact that you come from a fantastic school, Black House MMA, I noticed your movement. I really enjoy your movement. It's awkward, but it's also very effective. Did you play any other sports that played into that movement? Kind of tell me about that.
100%. And some of the, like my coaches, they make fun of me because of the way I move. But I played football. And growing up, I played football, basketball, and I ran track. So a lot of footwork is a big part of what we do, or what I've done growing up. So the training that we've done in other team sports are way different than the footwork that we train in fighting. So it's gonna look different naturally, and then I just have to find the sweet spot, you know, because I know it looks goofy sometimes, but I'm a whole different beast now. So it's like I'm mixing a lot of the natural talent that I bring and a lot of the guidance that Rage is bringing to me. So next time you see me, it's gonna be a different monster. Crazy footwork, but different monster.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it throws people off guard a little bit. I mean, it might work to your benefit. What do you think about that? I
think that's true because one thing about when I spar against boxers as an MMA fighter, specifically on this point, is that our angles are different. We move differently, and we attack from different spots, different than they're used to. A lot of the athletes that train one way their whole lives, and then they go against somebody else that trained one way their whole life, they're generally used to that type of movement. But then when you go against somebody, even though they might not be as skilled as you, you're not used to the way they move. So if they move in a way that you're not used to, you don't know how to react. So if I move a certain way and I get it, and I know what I'm doing, so if my opponent doesn't know what I'm doing, then it gives me an advantage, even though they might have more experience than I do.
Right. So you said you played sports, football, basketball growing up. Any other sort of athletic abilities that those sports gave you that you think are helping you out with the fight game?
Coachability, that's the main thing, being able to be coachable. And footwork, that's a big one. And just getting used to training for an extended period of time. And I think a lot of people that just start off, especially at a later age, like me, I started 23. That's late for martial arts. That's late for sports in general, but I've been an athlete growing up, so starting late at 23, that's not the same as somebody coming off the couch at 23.
Right.
So
That's true. That's true.
To me, that's the biggest difference between me coming off the couch.
You know, you kind of remind me when you say that of a guy like Sergio Martinez. I don't know if you ever followed boxing. He was one of the best boxers in like the middleweight division. He played soccer and was a cyclist his whole life. Kind of started boxing late. Ended up being the man in the middleweight division, even though he started late. You know, Deontay Wilder, kind of the same.
Wilder also.
Kind of the
Kevin
same.
Ross, somebody in our sport.
Yeah. Kind of the same thing. Kind of the same thing. I wanted to ask you. You know, you did play these sports. Where did you play? Where did you grow up? Are you from around here?
For sure. I'm South Bay, South LA, born and raised. So I went to Carson High, and that's where I played football. I played when I was coming up in Junior All-American. I played in Rialto. We had to drive every day, like an hour and some change over there to go play. That's where I got introduced to football. But basketball, I've been all around southern Los Angeles, growing up, travel ball in high school and everything. So yeah, southern Los Angeles, South Bay, LA, that's for me.
It's a sort of different mentality that you have to have as a fighter than other athletes. I try to communicate that to people. You know, some people think you could just be an athlete and be a fighter.
Right.
I think the mentality is different. You know, what's your kind of opinion on that?
I agree, and to your point, when playing in other sports, somebody that doesn't have fight, like somebody that didn't fight a lot, when you and they're athletic, they're really athletic, and their skills are up to par. But when you come from a background where you had to fight in your house, or you had to fight in your street, or you had to fight at your school, and they didn't, when you go against them and you grab them, you can see the change in their face when a real fighter grabs them. You know, so it's like when you just teach somebody that already has that dog in them how to fight, then it's way easier to get them to excel in that sport. You know. So.
And for Quincy, was that dog always there? Is that something that you had to kind of develop growing up, maybe? Where did dog come from?
Dog game for me growing up, 100%. Like, so yeah, I went to school in Carson, and I got into a lot of fights growing up. I'm not known as like a fighter or anything, or a gang member or nothing like that, but just growing up in an area like that, and South LA, you have to fight. It's no like, there's people that are being abused at home that want to they need an outlet to, and then they take it out on smaller kids, and I'm generally a smaller person, so a lot of the times I had to fight more than somebody bigger than me because of me being smaller than them, and somebody wants to pick on somebody in it, and a lot of times and I fancy myself like somebody who enjoys fighting, so a lot of times it's not them trying to, but I never feel like I was bullied. I always felt like I got into a fight because nobody was able to beat me into submission. You can't make me quit. There's not a man here that can make me quit. So like growing up, even though I'm fighting people bigger, like my best friend, he's 6'4", 6'5", like 260, 275. We fight every day. So there's nothing that somebody my size or anywhere around my area that could make me quit. So I didn't feel like I was getting bullied a lot, but I did get into a lot of fights based off of just trauma and everything that everybody else was going around me.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to touch on that a bit more.
Sure.
Maybe we'll do an in-depth on you one day. I wanted to ask you a couple more things before I let you go, because I know you got training. What's martial arts done for you so far in your life?
Martial arts has given me a very lucrative outlet. Lucrative meaning, like it's given me like meaning, a lot of meaning to this raise, a lot of raises that I have. Shout out to my coach, but
Coach Rage.
Like just growing up, you never really have that outlet because fighting is illegal, obviously. And like Khabib says, fighting is illegal here. You know, so you can't fight in the street here. But it's like with mixed martial arts, it's giving me somewhere where I can use my energy in a positive way, and also it's giving me something to work for again. Like when I was growing up and I was trying to go to college and try to make a name for myself in other sports, naturally fighting I'm gravitated towards. So this is my calling. This is what I feel like I'm here to do. And I feel like when people see me, that's what they're going to see. They're going to see somebody that was born to do this, somebody that was meant to do this, somebody that was dedicated their whole being to this. I wish I knew I could do this earlier in my life, but I had no idea. So now that I have an idea, it's me. It's 100% myself.
Quincy, we've seen you in the Lions Den do kickboxing. You've done MMA. What's kind of the trajectory? Where are you headed? You know, I hope to keep you.
Yeah, 100%.
I hope to keep you around, but you know, is it more of an MMA focus, striking? What is it you're looking to do with your life?
Well, I consider myself a mixed martial artist, but to be great at mixed martial arts, you have to be great or really well or exceptional in every discipline. So I plan to compete competitively at a championship level in kickboxing, at a championship level in Muay Thai, a championship level in Jiu-Jitsu, a championship level in mixed martial arts. So I'm a mixed martial arts fighter, but I'm taking every sport very seriously.
Awesome, man. I love to hear that. Finally, you know, I appreciate your time, Quincy. Is there anyone you want to shout out, supporters, sponsors, anyone like that?
Yeah.
And where can people follow you on social media?
Well, I have one social media, Hollow Point MMA on Instagram. And as far as support, man, I appreciate my gym, Black House MMA, for supporting me throughout this journey and allowing me into the house. Thank you to my coach Rage for allowing me to come here and train and believing in me. And thank you to my partners over at the Lottery Clothing Company. They always supported me 100%. And I appreciate everybody. And thank you, I appreciate it. Hey, tune into the next fight. You're going to see a whole new beast.
Appreciate you, Quincy. And we can't wait to see you in the Lions Den. Ladies and gentlemen, Quincy Holland.
Thank you.